Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Rage Against the Regime Radio, where status quo is taken to task. With your host, Bobby Who's Demand. Don't be a stranger. Give us a call at 929-477-3565 or contact us at rageagainsttheregimepodcast@gmail.com or on our Twitter at RATR Podcast. And please like our Facebook page. On with the show. Here's Bobby.
The ones who lost the ones they love, we pray for you each day. Our nation's heart goes out to you to help you find your way. A brave new song of freedom can be heard across this land. The walls may fall and tumble down, but united we will stand. Be proud to be an American, American. Stand tall, sing out, we're American, American. Oh, say, can't you see, we fight for love and liberty. We're proud to be American. Courageous souls of yesterday fought bravely on this land. We keep our heroes in our hearts, our future in their hands. Tomorrow's dream will see the day, our children know the way. So teach them pride and love inside, so they'll grow strong and stay. Be proud to be an American, American. Stand tall, sing out loud, we're American, American. Oh, say, can't you see, from town to town and sea to sea, we're proud to be American. The spirit of our people is the rock we're built upon. Our colors wave to honor you, the strength to carry on. With different names and faces, growing stronger every day. There's no place like America. God bless the USA. Be proud to be an American, American. Stand tall, sing out loud, we're American, American. Oh, say, can't you see, we'll always live here safe and free. We're proud to be American. Be proud to be American.
Welcome to Rage Against the Regime Radio, and we are your hosts. I am Bobby, yay for me, and always my trusty sidekick, Becky Williams. Hello, Becky.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And then, for some odd reason, I guess he took the day off of work to be able to join us today. Z-Man.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Z, how's it going, my brother?
Doing good. How are you guys doing today?
Man, I'm tired as hell. I was invited to another show last night. I was on until almost 4 o'clock this morning. Gentleman invited me. It's called That Radio Show on Spreaker. I posted up the archive, and you guys get a chance to listen to it. There's some great conversation there. A lot of knowledge that was imparted with some very intelligent gentlemen. Round table discussion. So, Bobby, tell me what's on your mind, man.
Oh, well, the devil works in mysterious ways, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass right now. You try to be nice to people and you try to do nice things for people, and it's the devil. It works both sides of the plate. You never know what the hell's going to happen. It could go any way. Well, all I know is, I like helping people. I don't mind helping people out, and I don't mind being a do-gooder. But, I need to learn to stay out of people's business. And I need to learn to not really be involved with stuff. Because here, take for instance, I'm not pinpointing anybody. There could be right now about 3 or 4 different people that I could be talking about. So I'm not talking about one person in specific. So, nobody get no hard feelings about this. I have access to a lot of patriots, as does Becky. I mean, we have their phone numbers, we have their information, we share it with each other, we network. That's what we do. I mean, as patriots, we try to stay in contact with each other. We try to break news. We try to, keep everybody in perspective and let everybody know what's going on and stuff like that. Well, I was contacted by more than one person today. It started off as one person, but now it's been more than one person telling me, hey, I know that you know this person, and I know you know that person. Can you reach out to them for me? Can you, get in contact with them? Can I have their phone number? I mean, I've had it all today. I've had 3 different people do that to me today, okay? And one person was just looking out for, Manny Vega's best interest, okay? And, I don't blame the person, looking out for Manny's best interest. Of course, I'm looking out for Manny's best interest, Blaine Cooper, any Patriot in Washington right now. But, I kind of, when the whole conversation began with the one person, it was okay, because they had a lot of information to share and stuff like that. But, right now I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass because I was always told, consider the source. And I am a person that says that to everybody. I did not consider the source. I did not read the links where the news was coming from or anything like that. It never dawned on me. I mean, I just kind of jumped the gun and thought I was helping somebody out. But I did let Manny know that, it wasn't me calling for myself or anything like that. I was just trying to help somebody out. But that you knew about that one because we had already talked about that one. But I've had 2 other people say to me, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you call Manny Vega and can you forward a message to him for me, about this and that? And I'm like, can you not go on his Facebook page and leave a message for him? oh, well, I guess you guys are friends and stuff, and you guys are, whatever, because you're like in you guys talk or whatever. He was on your show last night, and I mean, you could just pick up the phone and call him, and I know he's a busy man, but I have something really important that I need to tell him. Well, like I said, can you not contact him on Facebook? So I don't know where that went, because I wasn't going to be getting involved any longer. But one thing that people need to realize, yes, we have a podcast. Yes, we have access to people. Yes, we try to stay in good standing with Patriots. But never again, and listen to me when I say, everybody listen to me, never again will I be the messenger. Because I have learned so many times the messenger is the one that gets shot and everybody else goes and walks off into the sunset. So I am not going to let somebody make me look like the bad person and I get shot by the person that I'm delivering the message to, that the message was not a message that they wanted to hear. So that's that. Wow.
I hate to hear that kind of information being given from one patriot to another about another patriot. If he wants to stand in Washington, and I know the parties because we had this discussion, if he wants to stand in Washington and be president, I really don't give a damn about it. I want to know that he's a patriot standing for what's right. And if his character is one that may be deceiving or he's taking advantage of someone out there and you're passing that information along, I appreciate the fact that you're looking out for everybody's best interest. But right now, we just don't have time for that bullshit. We've got a serious situation in Washington.
Okay. I was going to say that's exactly what I said to them. That's exactly what I said. I said, we don't, Manny made it very clear to me when I called him earlier to give him the message that I gave him. I said, look, this is not me talking. I promised somebody that I would do the favor and call you. Right. And he said, you will be the last phone call that I will take about this. If the man is out here to support me and to watch my back, I could give a shit about any of the other stuff. He's out here as a patriot. And I said the same thing. You know what? You can't knock the man, because Manny even said, well, whoever's saying that, where are they at?
Yeah. Yeah.
If they're talking bad. Yeah. So there we are.
Well, we've got a situation in Washington where I'm just absolutely sick to my stomach, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there again. And I'm sorry, sometimes the saying, the truth tastes like shit, but you're going to have to eat a little bit of it today. The fact that we've got, last count, 22 patriots out of over 300 million people in this country standing in Washington against this blatant act of tyranny, the declaration of war on the American people, makes me, I've got mixed feelings. I want to kick the shit out of somebody. I want to rip my hair out. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm not sleeping. I'm wound up like a rubber band. We've got a verdict that's supposed to come out sometime today with over 100 cities organized protest by this DOJ, Black Panthers, and the Muslim Brotherhood with the thugs in the black community that want to stand up and protest against an officer defending his life. Hear that?
Hello?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
That was probably the government.
You disappeared like a bad habit.
Yeah, NSA, kiss my ass and get off my damn phone. But anyway, I'm just sick. I'm sick to my stomach. This is pathetic. These keyboard warriors, I do appreciate your hard efforts, but now it's time for you to step up and walk the walk. You've been talking the talk. Let's see what you got. Get out there and take your country back. Get out there in numbers recognizable as, we've had enough. It needs to be a loud voice and a loud presence, and I'm just sick. La Raza's outnumbering us 30-1. Today it's more than that. The government obviously is paying for their trip and shipping them in. We know that to be a fact. We found that out yesterday. The government is overwhelming us, and they're laughing at you. You hear me? They're taking your country, and they're laughing at you about it. What the hell are you going to do about it? You going to sit at the keyboard, bitch about it? Or are you going to get up and make a little sacrifice of your own and be there physically to let this government know that we've had enough? This is it. Because if you don't, I'm going to tell you what you're looking forward to. You're looking forward to a revolution because there's some of us patriots out here that have had enough. And one of us, somewhere, is going to come out blazing. And
they're well aware that's coming. That's why they're trying to ban body armor. So they know it's coming because there's a law they're trying to pass. It's called H.R. 5344. Look it up. It's a federal ban on body armor. That's why I bought mine already. It's going to be here Wednesday. I got the shipping order. They do not want people to have the same. They don't want people to have the same arms as the U.S. military, and that's just because they know that eventually we're going to get sick of the crap they're pulling, and if they don't stop and there's no type of reform, then we're going to end up taking the country back and putting it right. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I don't advocate violence in the least. I honestly don't like violence. I abhor violence to the deepest level. Like I said the other night, I believe that the pen is mightier than the sword wielded by the right person. And if we end up fighting and having to use violence, then we've lost the battle and we have to win the war.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. Listen, I don't want to see my kids terrified. First of all, I have an autistic grandson, okay? And loud noises terrify this child, really screws his head up. Change in environment, unexpected things. That's really a huge burden on his psyche. And I don't want to see these things happen to anybody's children, but children like Ethan that have some disability due to the vaccinations they poisoned his little body with, this is going to be by far more horrifying and devastating to folks with those kind of issues, PTSD, children, adults. And it's going to be horrible.
Oh, absolutely. People don't understand what warfare would do, or what warfare does to a countryside. Like, I have a lot of friends. I have a friend of mine who never used his weapon in combat, never had to fire at anybody, but he served in Afghanistan, and he came back a completely different person. People don't understand that the things that human beings do in those types of situations just it makes you into a different person. It numbs you from pain that you shouldn't be numb to, and it drives me crazy seeing people coming back from these needless wars all screwed up, and for what? It's one thing to.
See, I'm going to get real right here, and I'm going to make a statement, and I'm hoping it'll have some positive impact. I want every one of these listeners that are out there, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think of the one person in your life that you love the most, or the people in your life you love the most. Now I want you to envision their heads exploding while they're beside you, because we're in the middle of a war. I want you.
Holy cow, she keeps disappearing.
What, brother?
You keep disappearing, man.
Up and out.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of interference. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Are you there?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah, we're here.
Can y'all hear that interference when I talk? Hello?
Sort of.
Yeah, you're. I guess I can mute. Maybe it's me. I don't know.
Hey, look, mute yourself for a minute. Now, it's probably the NSA messing with me because I'm rising up. You know, they like to give me a hard time. The alphabet agencies like jack my phone sometimes. So let's see if it's them or if it's you. Anyway, I just want to paint a real ugly picture for you because if you don't stand up and come to a peaceable resolution to the issues that we have right now today, we are going to find ourselves in the middle of that kind of battle. And your little precious baby that's standing next to you is going to lose their head in the battle. You know, your wife, your sister, your brother, your mother, your son, you know, your uncle, your aunt. It doesn't matter. Your best friend. It doesn't matter because war is no respecter of persons. And when it happens, it's going to be because we didn't accept our very own responsibility. See, it's not the responsibility of Mr. Vega or Mr. Cooper or the rest of the 22 people who showed up in Washington to handle this. It's your responsibility. It's my responsibility. I'm headed to Washington. I'm going to do my show today, and I'm going to see if I can just fly out tomorrow or Monday, and if not, I'm going to go ahead and get in my car and drive. I'm sure I'm on the no-fly or, you know, the SSS list that Blaine Cooper's on. It doesn't matter to me. I will get there one way or another, but I'm going. I'm going because I'm that kind of bitch. I'm that kind of patriot. I'm going to stand up. I put in endless hours all week long to get this information to you, to have you interact, and to help us connect to what's going on in the cities. And, you know, I do what I can do, but at the end of the day, we need a presence in Washington. So I'm going to walk the walk. I'm not just going to complain to you that you're not there. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go be there myself. I'm going to make that sacrifice because I love my country, and if we don't do something, we're going to be in that battle. And I do not want to see violence in America. Go ahead, Z. I do apologize for ranting. I got that off my chest when I did out there.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Hey, that's what we're all here for. But, one thing I want to get out of the way real quick. My weekends are still open for a while until I'm finished training, so what do you got? Either way, I should have let you know. I should have let you know ahead of time I was going to be coming on today, just because I know you probably weren't expecting me. I didn't think about it. I completely forgot. So anyway, back to conversation. I actually watched something on the news this morning. It was last night. That was just insane that I didn't even think about when it comes to all this amnesty, because the whole thing is I figured that they would be trying to figure out, or I figured they'd be giving at least amnesty to people who were waiting for their green card or something like that. No. They said that anybody who's claimed, they don't even have to have any too much proof. Anybody that can claim that they were here for 6 years gets citizenship. Are you freaking kidding me? They said they were showing how easy it is that literally you could pay $50 to $100 and get falsified documents from a lease of an apartment that you supposedly stayed at, that says that you were there for 6 years or more. You realize how many oh my God, yeah. It's insane.
Listen,
this was a police officer who was talking about it.
Hold on, Z. We got a couple of callers. Area code 360. Who've I got? You're on live. Area code 360. You're on live. Who we speaking to?
Hey, Becky, it's Ray.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm ready to go to D.C.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to get there, but I'm not going to wait until December 3rd. That's full. I'm
going to be there. I'm going to be there actually the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Friday after Thanksgiving? All right, brother.
That's where I'm going to get there.
I look forward to it. One step also on the line.
Say what?
817, area code 817. You're on live. Who's on the line?
Yeah, Becky, I'm going to be there.
You going to be there, brother?
Breaking up bad.
All right, hey, call back in. I think it's your line. So give me a call back, and I'll bring you back on the air.
Yeah, he's pretty loud. The background noise.
Area code 87. Area code 817. You're on live. Who've I got? Hello. 817. 6936 is the last four numbers. Who have I got? I guess they don't want to talk to us. I'm thinking that's Natalie Choate. Natalie.
I'm here,
Natalie.
I'm here, Beth.
Couldn't hear you, sis. How you doing?
I'm good. How's everything?
Man, I tell you, we're fired up today, sister. I'm pretty pissed off. I'm pissed off that everybody focused on...
I'm pissed.
Man.
I'm pissed. I'm telling you. We've got smoke screens from every direction. You know me. I'm a native Texan, and I'm pissed. Just last week, I made mention of these jets flying along our Gulf coastline. I had a kid that's in my son's generation under us. He came back and said, "What's wrong with that? It's international waters. Whenever it makes the news, by God, in the state of Texas, first time in my life, there's something wrong with it."
Well, there's international waters, Natalie, and then there's airspace, and that's
Absolutely.
American airspace.
My point
buzzing our coast with armed jet fighters, regardless of where we think if they were going to launch a nuke. We're just talking in general. That's a declaration of war. That is an act of war against the American people. And to be in my Gulf line, that's not cool. I don't dig that at all.
Point being, the generation below us seems to think that this is just an everyday occurrence. No, ma'am. It's not an everyday occurrence. I've been a resident of the state of Texas for 56 years. Never one time ever have I ever seen headlines come across saying Russian fighters are buzzing our coast. Never. Not one time. That's the point. This younger generation, they seem to think that they're okay with this. They think that that's okay. No, it's not okay. Why are they here? Putin made a statement today that Obama has turned the United States and the Western countries into a sewer. Made that public statement today.
Well, Americans are focused now. They're focused on so many things. You know, while this son of a bitch did what he did yesterday in Vegas and the night before with his amnesty shit that he tried to say, this is not amnesty. You know, changing the semantics of an obvious act of tyranny and bypassing Congress with a unilateral move does not change the fact of what it is. You know, you can change the verbiage however you want, but the actual content of your action is exactly what it is. But while we were looking at that, and they're focusing on the Spanish population because we have such a large or a vast population of Hispanics in the country, because the bastards, the little cockroaches, have been coming in for the last 30 years doing what they damn well please in our country, killing people, raping them, murder, robbery, whatever, pedophilia, you know, taking the money and the resources and putting it back into the economy of Mexico, not into our economy. They've been here illegal. They're felons. Anybody came across with a pocket knife even is considered an armed combatant, and that is an act of war against America, and our government has allowed this to happen. But the reason they've done this and focused it on the Hispanic population rather than telling the truth and saying that there's 40 or 50 million illegal invaders, foreign invaders that have come in from countries all over the world. See, this is not just for the Hispanics, and even the media isn't talking about this. This covers all the Muslims, all the Chinese, all the, you know, it doesn't matter what country they've come from, whether they came on a visa for school and it expired, they didn't leave, you know, they snuck in under the pretense of a vacation, they never left. I mean, the people they're not seeing the whole picture. They're not seeing the whole
Becky,
picture.
We live on a bordering state. We live on a bordering state. You and I both have witnessed our entire lives the Mexican population growing in our state. Okay, we have decent Mexican citizens here that have rightfully fought for their citizenship, and they rightfully contribute to the community, and they rightfully pay their taxes. But, you know, they focus on this because they think that that's the only population that we're concerned about. I've often said, flip this United States upside down. Put the northern border on the south and the southern border on the north. People would have a whole different conception of what's going on in this country.
Well, we have presidents that did. The Border Patrol, I want to say it was Roosevelt possibly, they took the Border Patrol from the South and put it in the North, and the North put it in the South because of the corruption, the drug cartels, and the gun runners, and the gangs, and the politics between the local officials buying off our Border Patrol to allow invasion. And once they did that and started deportation, and when he deported them, he put them on ships and dropped them 500 miles away from the borders they entered into. Just kicked them out. Geraldo Rivera was on the news last night on Hannity saying, what are we going to do, deport them and draw them off? Where are they going to go? Well, they can get the hell out of here. I don't really care where they go. Hannity said so. They came from somewhere. So, take your ass back across where you came from and go wherever it is you come from.
That's just the point. We try to. People are focusing on the Hispanic community when, just like you said, it's other countries that are here, and I mean the Muslim population. And again, not all Muslim, but I'm just saying the population is growing. We're seeing it even in a mixture in the state of Texas, and I mean people need to focus. Okay, back to Ferguson. Let's go there for just a second. Bobby said earlier that you don't know what they're dragging this verdict out for. I'm telling you, they're dragging the verdict out as a screen. They're trying to smokescreen Gitmo, the release of the detainees over there. There's always a cover in this. Always a cover in this administration. I don't give a damn what's going on. There's always a smokescreen, be it Ferguson,
They just released another detainee from Gitmo.
Yeah, so that makes 6 now. So
nobody's pissed about it. He's let 109 terrorists go on the world. And, I'll tell you something else. He's talking about the criminal aspect of these invaders, Hispanic in particular. They make up over 36% of the population in our American prisons. Obama let thousands of those cockroach criminals, he turned them loose. He turned them loose from jail. His act of tyranny and putting the American population, the American citizens, into imminent danger has been so blatantly open. And this Congress sits up there and talks about a friggin' lawsuit, and they don't want to talk about the I word. They reference it as the I word. Well, let me tell you something. The I word is no longer an option. First of all, if we did try to impeach him, which they will not do. They've proven that no matter what this son of a bitch does. Impeachment would validify or validate his being in that office. And we all know that he's a usurper. He usurped that position. He was placed there. He's not an American citizen. The little Muslim piece of shit should have never been there, and he hates America. And he right now is relishing in his kingdomship that he has been given. So at the end of the day, nobody wants to talk about what really needs to be done, and that's treason. And if we don't get him on treason, because that's also going to validate who he thinks he says he is, and we all know that's a lie. Then we get him on espionage, okay? But either way, both of them carry a death sentence at the end of the day after trial. He does treason, not had one friggin' cheese sandwich at the expense of the taxpayers. He has wasted an average of $1.7 billion, let that sink in, $1 billion in vacations and golf tours every year. That's the average that he and his family have used of our money, while he gave himself a $50,000 a year raise. That's right, he raised his own salary during a sequester when he cut the shit out of our soldiers' money. When he took the Border Patrol completely off the north border to Canada for 6 weeks. You tell me what the hell's going on.
People better wake up. You better wake up, and you better start paying attention not to one subject, but you better pay attention to all that surrounds you. You better stay aware of your surroundings first and foremost, because I'm telling you, push is fixing to come to shove. And it's evident in every direction that you turn.
Sister, can you hang on just a second? I'm going to have to put you on hold. I got a couple other callers, but I don't want you to hang up. I'm going to come back to you, okay? JoJo.
Yeah?
Good afternoon. How are you doing, sister? You got anything to report?
No, I'm just listening in. Just seeing what y'all got
All
going
right,
on.
baby girl. You got anything to rage about? Nothing at all?
Nah, no.
All right, I'm
ain't
going to put you back on hold. Stay in. But listen, if you come up with something, you text me real quick, and I'll take you off hold.
Well, just, yeah.
What's this?
I was going to tell you, if I wanted to talk, I just hit 1 and my little flag comes back up. So the flag will light up if I didn't. Okay? You know about the flag? All right. I'm going to mute myself.
All right. Greg, we've got you online, brother, and I'm starting to get a lot of phone calls. I'm sorry to leave you on hold that long. We couldn't quite make out what you were saying earlier, except that you were going to Washington. You'll be there on Friday after Thanksgiving.
Right, exactly. And I was just wondering, are you going to be there then, or when do you plan on getting there?
Absolutely. Once I get there, I'm like Manny Vega. I'm not going anywhere. When I get to Washington, it's on. We're going to do it.
Okay. Well, I'll keep in touch then when I get there, all right?
Yes, sir, I will. I'll make sure. I need you to let me know that you're on the flight and you're on your way. And then I'll look for your text, or I'll text you, and we'll definitely meet up on the front steps. Hopefully by then the crowd will be so large it'll be a task. If I get there tomorrow, listen, I get there tomorrow, Monday, and we still only have 22 people there. I'm going to tell you something, Patriots. I'm going to come on and start complaining about it.
You betcha.
I'm not afraid that you're doing something wrong, just like I'm not afraid to love you when you're doing something right. I still love you when you're doing something wrong, but what is wrong is keyboard warriors who are out there posting and bitching and complaining are not becoming the upfront warrior that I need them and this country needs them to become. Hell, their families need them to become that. It isn't even about me. It's not about my desire for you to get up and stand up for this country. I'm asking you to do it because I fight for you every day and I fight with you every day. But what I am asking you to do...
Uh-oh.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
We were, but you were not.
Yeah, you cut out for a moment there.
No. There's a shot.
Are you on your cell phone or your house phone, Becky?
On my house phone.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Do you have a headset with a microphone on it?
Yeah, but I'll have to dig it out.
Well, you know what? It's going to be better. I'll tell you that much. Well, maybe not for today. If you're on your house phone, it's bad. It's real bad because they keep kicking you to the curb.
I'm going to hang up and I'll call back in. I don't think it's the connection. You guys go ahead and converse.
Yeah, you know what?
Yourself.
You do that. You do that, and then I'm going to, I'll take the reins for a second here. While Becky is gone, and she's going to be making the transition, going to her cell phone. We're going to have a surprise for everybody. We're going to be calling Blaine Cooper and Manny Vega. I just was in contact with Blaine Cooper. I notified him that we're going to be calling him. He gave me the thumbs up. So we will be calling them again tonight and being in contact with Blaine Cooper and what was that?
No.
Okay, with Blaine Cooper and Manny Vega. So yeah, we're definitely going to we're going to make the best of it, and I always look forward to talking to Blaine Cooper and to Manny Vega. There's so much information there, but with everything that's going on right now in Washington, okay, these two guys are the source. Okay, they are the first guys that stepped forward and went to the forefront and went to fight this battle. Okay, Manny Vega was the first one to say that he wants to go. Blaine Cooper was the first person to say that he'll join him. Now, absolutely, these are two of the best people that you could ever imagine to go to Washington and go fight the good fight. So I'm looking forward to calling these two. I don't know what that background noise is, but it's really, really, really heavy. Whoever's got that real background noise.
I have no idea. I think one of our callers is unmuted.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I don't know if Becky's back on yet. But yeah, see that noise right there? It sounds like somebody's driving. It's really, really loud.
Yeah, I think we're catching the residual.
Did y'all have that? Excuse me. Did y'all have that noise while I was not on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just.
Well, we're still having technical issues right now.
Nah,
I don't know. Well, yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't know who it is, but whoever's driving, whoever's got, whoever's unmuted and driving. I mean, it's like really, really, really loud. I mean, it's
sounds like their window
overtaking
down.
pretty much. It's overtaking pretty much the.
The only ones unmuted right now is me, you, and Z. Everybody else on mute.
Okay. All right. So right now it sounds good. Okay. Blaine Cooper just pushed it on his page and asking people to call in, and he shared the link. So the phone lines should be going crazy right about now. So we're going to be.
Okay.
So we're going to give them a call whenever you're ready, Becky. Are you back with me?
Go ahead. Fire it up.
Becky, you're with me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna call Blaine Cooper and Manny Vega. So just give me a second. Let me dial them up. That's that.
Hey, Z.
Hey.
Hey, brother, why don't you plug your website while we got some dead air?
Blaine Cooper.
Blaine Cooper, this is Manny Vega.
Oh, Manny Vega, same difference. Same difference. It's a Patriot that we love. Either way. How are you, sir?
All right, but hey, question to you is, did you lock my house, my apartment?
Good. I'm glad that you guys are, allowing us to call in and check in with you guys and see what's going on and, give us little breakdowns on things. And so what kind of information you got so far? How are we looking today?
Who is this?
Bobby Ritter. I'm sorry. I should have said that, huh? It's Bobby Ritter with Rage Against the Regime.
I think you said you were Blaine Cooper.
No. I said Blaine Cooper because I told him that I was going to call, and he told me to call your phone.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, fine. Because Blaine Cooper's being picked up from my apartment right now, and I told him to lock it up. I thought you said you were Blaine Cooper, so mistaken identity.
Okay. Good. We're doing well. We're hoping that you're doing the same. How are you doing?
I'm doing good right now. We had the max today was 26 Patriots, 25, 26 Patriots in front of the White House. So
okay.
We're calling for people to stay. Now I'm making a call for people to stay. We need continued presence here at the White House, and we need to grow. That's what we need to do.
So, do you have a lot more people showed up today compared to yesterday, or?
Well, 10 more people, 10 or 11 more people, but of course they're not here to stay. We need a continued presence here. We need thousands of people. We need hundreds of thousands of people. And 20 people ain't going to cut it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty sad because we were thinking, with it being Saturday and, that maybe more people would have ended up showing up and coming out, and showing you guys a lot more support than you're getting.
Right. Well,
yeah.
I told people that I'm here to stay. But I need to stay here with lots of people. I can't stay here by myself, even though I would. But I can't affect change by myself, brother. I need to inspire people. I know I want to inspire people, but by God, I can't do it. Just me.
Right. Absolutely. I understand. And, it actually kind of brings a tear to my eye think about, the situation that our country is in right now, and to look forward to what the future is going to hold. And, it really, really is a sad situation for all of us. And especially knowing that, nobody wants to stand up and give the good fight except for a chosen few.
Exactly.
Wow.
It saddens me beyond. It's extremely saddening.
Right.
So,
I'm
here, brother. That's enough here.
Yeah.
We used the bullhorn extensively today. We used the bullhorn, and there's video of it. It's going to be surfacing soon. They're going to mail it to my email address. We got a gentleman that works with Larry Blaine.
Right.
He does his events. He records his events. So we got video as well.
Absolutely. Right. I've been sharing your videos. I hope you didn't mind. I've been sharing your videos on different pages and different groups that I'm in.
How could I mind if that's the purpose of me trying to inspire people to get their butts down here?
Sure.
I don't mind.
Sure. Yes, Thomas sends them to me too, so I usually get some from Thomas, and I try to steal them off your page and Blaine's page and so on and so forth. I think Becky actually had a question for you. Becky, were you trying to ask Manny something?
No, just telling you guys, it makes me sick. It just makes me sick, brother. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna head your direction probably tomorrow, Monday at the latest. I'll wrap up the show today and get my affairs in order, and then I'm headed your way, and I'm not leaving until we get an answer either. I'm so disheartened that we have all these oath keepers.
I will be here.
Patriots, man. It's sickening. I'm not even just downtrodden and sad. I'm sick to my stomach that out of over 300 million people and millions of keyboard warriors, we don't have a president in Washington standing up for this country. I'm sick. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah. I will be here. I will definitely be here.
I'm coming. I'm going to get some text talk about.
All righty, brother. We appreciate you taking our call. Be safe out there, sir. All right. Is there, I don't know if I actually have Blaine's number. I guess I'll try to send him a message because we want to try to get him on also. I don't know. Maybe can you, if I call you, or can you actually, since you have my number right here, is there a way you can text me the number where he's at or no?
What number? My number?
Well.
I'm sorry. Hang on, I've got to put my mouthpiece back in here. I'm sorry, everybody. The number for me to be able to call Blaine Cooper.
Blaine doesn't have a phone number. He doesn't own
Right. No, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. Okay, so he's not available then. I understand.
He's on his way. He can use my phone. You can interview Blaine. Also.
Okay. All right. You know what? It's then. I don't know. Maybe if we call back in about 15 minutes or so.
Well, he's on his way. He gets to that Fredericksburg, and that's 57 miles south, and traffic may be heavy on Saturday going northbound, so everybody wants to party.
Okay.
So, yeah, when he gets here,
well, he posted the number. He posted the number on his page, so he has the number to call in. If you can ask him to, please.
I'll tell him to call Bobby Ritter, and I'll give him my phone.
Okay, brother, I appreciate it. You be safe out there, sir. All righty, buddy.
All right.
All right, sir.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Man, I got
Becky, I'll call right back. I'll call right back in, Becky. I got to hang up.
All right, brother. Area code 661, you're on live. Area code 661, you're on live. Who've I got? Hello. Area code 661, you're on live. I've taken you off mute. Who am I speaking to? Last four digits, 0240. Hello. 661. 0240. Last four digits. I'm sorry. Speak up, hon. We're having some technical today. Who have I got?
Hello.
One. Hi. Who am I speaking with? Can you hear?
Hello. Hey, Becky.
Yeah. Who's this?
This is Zeta.
Hey, sis. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Man, I got tears streaming down my face. Zeta, I'm so frustrated and I'm so downtrodden about the situation in Washington.
Cheer up because help is on the way. And you have the sheriffs that are coming December 10th to talk to Congress. They will have a big following of patriots with them. Michelle Bachmann has called for a rally the 6th. And I know it's hard. I've done this many, many times. But, we live in a society now that nobody believes what's in front of them until it happens. And we don't want that to get to that point. But, this Al Sharpton, these riots that he has planned across the nation, there's a lot more than the 25 cities. So, and it has begun. We've had a lady, a black lady that was attacked a few nights ago. She was raped and burned. It's already starting. The news is not reporting it. Cincinnati was in a riot last night. This is going to get really widespread. The grand jury already has the verdict in, but they're holding it back. They went on for the holiday. They left for the holidays. So there's a strategic. I don't know what they plan on doing. Maybe they will release it tonight or tomorrow. So I don't know. But we have to come together because we are at war. People, we are at war.
Amen, sister.
And not to mention that, guns without guts is no glory. And no guts, no glory. And there's going to come a time very soon where you're going to have to use your weapon. So the only thing that I would say to suggest to the patriots out there and the militia out there is to support your law enforcement in your city when these riots come and be on their side to quell what is that they have planned for us because they do want to implement a martial law. We know their plans. So let's slow down their plans. Let's get on the right side with the law enforcement because this is justice. And not to mention, inciting riots is against the law. These people are lawless, and we have to hold them accountable.
Zeta, our DOJ is doing it. Our government is organizing this. And now you have the Muslim Brotherhood, the pigs, the cockroaches that have infiltrated our country by invitation and transported by this government for many years. It hasn't just been Obama. The Bushes did it.
I know that. I do know that, but we have to understand the bigger picture here, what they're trying to do. If they do this and they start rioting up in our cities, the police force will be overwhelmed, and then they will upload Department of Homeland Security. We don't want it to go that far. We have to actually fight with the police department on this, all the patriots, to quell this racism. I know they just arrested 2 Black Panthers buying up bombing material. So to bomb in Ferguson. So this is going to be widespread. We have to, all the patriots have to come together now. It's time to get behind the keyboard and get off the couch. And all that has been good for spreading information and truth. But now it's taken to a different level, and now we have to push back and we have to get active. If we are going to save our families, if we're going to save our freedom, it is that crucial.
Man, I got tears falling down my face. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just so... my heart is broken that we've let our country come to this, and that the lack of motivation to save your own life and your own family's life is staring me in the face, and it's a reality that is pretty devastating. It's pretty devastating.
People are in denial. That's really what it comes down to. They don't want to admit it.
You know, I'm not a sissy, you know, and I'll fight a big man and I'll kick his ass if I can. And I'm belted in martial art, you know, I'm versed in weapons. I can hold my own. For a woman, I can do what I need to do, you know. But when my heart gets broken, that's when I cry. And I'm crying for America. I'm crying for God's kids and children and the souls that are going to be lost in this battle. And I'm crying because injustice is being served to us from the left and from the right. We're being hit and bombarded in every direction. And I stand and fight, and I put a target that is so big on me that they show up at my home, that they bust my run for governor. They mess with my phone and my email. My family's in danger. I'm on a terrorist watch list. You know, I stand up for America and for everybody because it's my heart. God gave me that heart. But I'm so disheartened that my brothers and sisters don't love themselves and their families enough to do something now. My heart is shattered.
It will happen, Becky. I've been talking to other militia members, and people are rallying and they are coming together. So it will happen. I know that this kickoff this weekend, I kind of speculated it would happen this weekend. It's going to be very telling, and it's going to be very horrific. So people will wake up very quickly.
People are going to die, Z. People are going to die. When this kicks off with this verdict, people are going to die, and that breaks my heart. My government is killing people on purpose, and I still can't get my patriots to do more than exchange information. I can't get my fellow Americans to understand that it's most likely someone within earshot of us today or within the area of communication by way of Twitter or Facebook is going to lose a loved one in these riots. It may very well be them, and I don't know how to paint a picture of reality with any more truth than I've painted it. It is going to happen, Z. You know that. Zita, you know that.
But it's time to turn that into anger. That will help us get us through this and come together and speak in one voice. Forget your party affiliation. If you want to live in a free nation, then you need to get out there and show your support, even on a local level. I did post those cities, but there's much, much more. This is well funded by the Obama administration, the Department of Justice. It's not going to be pretty. So, yes, if we have
the government, Stacy called in yesterday, and she was in Vegas, and we got the same report that we got in Washington. Manny Vega and the boys that showed up, which were a minuscule number of, I think it was 17 people total this week, okay?
Yeah,
that's pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the government busting in, paying for the transportation, and professional organizers to bring in the cockroach pigs that are foreign invaders here to outnumber our people in Washington and Victory. And then the same thing happened in Las Vegas. The same thing happened in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Becky, they're sending in La Raza. And, you know, this was already spoken about. The militia knows it. You know, we know it's D-Day. It's D-Day, people, and it's a SOS. If you don't get that, then there's no saving you, really. It's beyond that. It is the time now to push everything aside and make that right decision.
Well, see, my point being is our government and what the people aren't getting, for the most part, a majority, is that it's our government that has waged war on us. Listen, people, we all know what Islam wants to do to the infidel and the white Americans. We already know that. We know that they've placated the black community. They go in and recruit in the prisons and in the black communities. Islam is what they teach and what they preach. And if you've ever read the Quran, you understand completely the horrific means or end to means that they intend globally. And they are now in the midst of our rioters, and it's going to be horrible. They're going to rape, like you said, burn bodies alive. They're going to take your heads off with a machete. They're going to have martyrs that are going to be bombing. I mean, I don't know if I can get this across to people enough to understand this government organized this. The DOJ organized this. Obama organized this. When I say the blacks against the whites right now, that needs to be absolutely your worry. You need to worry that the blacks that are being trained up and organized right now by the terrorist organization now CAR is involved in this, and the Black Panthers are Muslims.
Have converted. They have converted to Islam already. The Black Panthers, we all know that, but all this is going to go down this weekend, on through the week, and I just wanted to call in a bit of information of our Constitution with this executive amnesty. It's highly illegal. They have to destroy the Constitution to bring in Sharia law. That's the bottom line. And God bless you, sister. Don't be so disheartened. Turn it into anger, and we will get through this, and we will win, and we will be victorious.
Oh, I'm not giving up. I'm just a roller coaster of emotion right now. My hands are tied, and I'm so frustrated, and I'm a warrior. I'm not going to give up. When you see me say something online, I need re-encouragement is what I need. It's my fuel. I need to know that I'm making a difference for the movement of the patriots. That's all I need to know. And when I know that, I know that I can continue to do what I'm doing, and it's got some substance to it.
Yeah. Well, good night, everybody, and God bless you, and I'll be listening, and, I'm doing other things. I'd like to stay longer. I even took off work. I've even quit my job again, which I said I never would do because I do plan on, heading and taking care of some communications and some things like that. So I am involved behind the scenes.
Rita, if there's anything that I can do to contribute or in any way, in a positive and forward motion, please reach out to me and let me know. I won't do that I can.
Zita?
Yeah.
Zita, this is Bobby. I want to thank you also. I mean, every time we have a show on or we're doing something, I mean, you always get in there and give us a helping hand and, can put us in contact with people. And, I mean, you do a lot for us, and we really appreciate it. And, I never really had a chance to say thank you, and I'd like to do that now. So.
Thank you, Bobby, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And just stay to the course, and we'll get this done, y'all. And
God bless you, Vita.
God bless you. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, you have a good night, ma'am.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye now. We're actually waiting for Blaine Cooper to call in. To my understanding, he is in transit right now on his way to Miami. Some people were saying that the link was good. Some people were saying the link is bad. I fixed the link. I even put in the short link, and I posted it again. Blaine Cooper posted it on his page, and when Blaine Cooper pretty much posts something on his page, you know how that happens. I mean, it takes off like crazy. So I know that we've got a ton of listeners right now. I'm not sure how many callers we have, but the most important call that we're waiting on right now is for Blaine Cooper to call us in. So
we got a call.
Yes, ma'am.
937 area code. You're on live. Who have I got?
Hi, Becky. This is Fletcher. I'm sorry I'm late getting up with you all.
Hey, Fletcher, how you doing, brother?
I'm okay. I just got back home. I think I texted you earlier about some situations I was ran into last night with people, but I just called in to listen. I'm rather tired.
All right,
and
brother.
I'm going to put you on
hold, and then if you have a question for Blaine, you text me real quick, and I'll take you off.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling in, brother, and listening.
Hey, is my mic open?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, I was going through Twitter, and they're saying that they're putting the announcement off till Monday for the Ferguson thing. I can't confirm that. I'm just seeing it show up on Twitter, and just some other kind of people putting out warnings and that type of thing. And I did see, and I can't confirm this either. Someone said that the cops have said that if they get fired on one time, they're all leaving. So, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I would certainly, if gunfire breaks out, I think the cops should probably back up too. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But there's more than one person that's tweeting that the announcement's been put off till Monday.
Wow. And they put it off. They put it off on Friday because they going to interfere with the school operation for the public school system. That would have been a bad thing.
Yeah. I think it might come tomorrow or tonight because I was watching the news earlier just before we went live, and they said that they're now starting to block off streets. They're setting up barriers all over the place in Ferguson, and they are closing schools on Monday and Tuesday. So it might just come Monday, but I think that they might break it tonight, and then they have the 72-hour period there or actually 48-hour period there.
They initially said it was going to come Sunday at 2. Now they're saying, and of course I can't confirm that. This is just people talking on Twitter, so that's not any major.
My concern is that the DOJ and the Department of Defense and the National Guard are setting up, and they needed a little more time to get it done for the martial law situation.
Because this one person said that if there's any gunfire, the cops are backing out and the Army's going in. That's what they said. That's just somebody saying that. There's no confirmation.
Well, that I could see.
But I can see that, yeah. And I hope to God, if that's the case, I hope they give our Army boys more than rubber bullets. And I hate to say that. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I mean, I think this is just devastatingly stupid that we just can't understand.
Let me ask you a question, and I understand what you're saying. What do you do with the rabid dog?
You have to shoot.
Put it down.
You put it down. What are these people? They're haters.
Seems
they're
like
murderers.
rabid dogs to me.
Yeah, they're rabid dogs. That's what they are. They've got a hatred in their heart, and they're using the excuse. And I'm not going to glorify Michael Brown by any stretch of the means because he was a waste of flesh, in my opinion. He was a thug, and he came from thuggery. A long lineage of it.
You get shot. Pretty simple.
But the whole deal is we have a justice system. And, we need to let the justice system work. If they're angry, they think they were wrong. They think, they just don't, from what I know, they think because he was unarmed and wasn't carrying a gun, but that doesn't still mean the other man wasn't feared for his life. The guy was 6'7", 300 pounds, and had already beat the hell out of him. So, what was the cop supposed to do? My way of thinking, the cop's thinking he's going to knock me unconscious, and he's going to take my gun, and then he's going to shoot me. That's the way.
It's also your responsibility. It's also your responsibility as a gun owner to keep that gun out of their hands too. So you're absolutely right.
And I mean, if you're one-on-one in the street, duking it out, you're both 6'5" men, and you're both unarmed, and you're both throwing down punches. That's one thing. But if somebody's like 6'7" comes after 5'2" me, it doesn't matter to me. I'm still feared for my life whether he's got a gun or not.
Well, you know what? As a martial artist, I could tell you that it doesn't matter how big the person is. You can be injured very badly. I've seen people just catch lucky punches, and they've had fractured eye sockets. I've people catch lucky punches and have an entire shattered nose. And these were from tiny people. I myself have had my nose broken many a time by a person much smaller than me. So So that's the whole thing. If people don't understand it, it is very easy to harm somebody by punching them. Everybody thinks that it's like the movies where people duke it out for 20 minutes. No, brain trauma is a very dangerous thing, and it can happen very easily.
Well, I talked to a friend of mine yesterday who's been a cop for 30 years, and I said, we were talking about excessive force and stuff, and I said, he said, you don't understand, you train and you shoot at targets and you shoot at that. He said, but when somebody's actually firing at you, you're going to keep shooting till you empty your weapon. It's not going to be like 3 times because you're going to shoot as long as you got bullets because you got the adrenaline going. Somebody's trying to kill you, and that's what you're going to do. That's just human nature.
937, you're on line. 937, you're on live.
Oh, hey, Miss Peggy, this is Terry. It's Fletcher.
Oh, okay, Fletch. You got anything to add to this?
Well, yeah, I'll say something. I'll add something. It's a good point, like what do you do with a rabid dog? I've seen people in my neighborhood here. We had a fair last year, and these folks were coming out of the fair, and it seemed to be happening sporadically across the country. The knockout game, a guy and his family were coming out of the fair over here off of Main Street. It's kind of an older neighborhood, but that's where the fair sets. They were coming through the neighborhood, and they got attacked by a bunch of thugs because they were white,
Yeah.
And it was just like a bunch of animals. They just attacked them because they were white. They just walking down the street. They had their drinks, and the kid had his cotton candy, about 7 years old, and they got attacked. If that was my family and I was carrying a gun, like someone said, you empty your weapon. And I'm not going to take it. I will not take anybody. I don't care their color. Anyone that causes me, attempts to cause me harm, I see they're threatening myself or my family, I'm going to bust a cat in their ass. And everybody took that attitude. Here in Ohio, we have the caste law. If you step on somebody's property with intent, and you got to prove it, and they intend to harm you, you can bust their butts. If somebody kicks my door in or just steps in across my threshold, they're paid for.
Yeah, I like the saying. I like the saying. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I always tell people it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yeah, that's a good one. People need to stand up. I stay livid every day. After Obama did his immigration lies and spearing of the American people and the country, I couldn't talk. And my girlfriend was going, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I just couldn't talk. That's how mad I was. I would have rather been out in the country where I could have went out and cap some shells and fantasize, but it was just unbelievable. It's unbelievable what our nation is going through. We are under direct attack at all levels, from all directions, and people are just like the 3 people last night I approached on the Ferguson deal. Are you aware of it? They didn't know. They had no clue what was going on in Ferguson. They just don't know. They don't know anything about Obama. One told me here 2 weeks ago, well, he's a good Christian man. And I said, you're a complete idiot. I just can't take anymore. I'm leaving this area hopefully in 2 weeks if it don't fall through. And I'm heading for Tennessee, out into the country. Maybe that will relieve my anxiety some. But there's some good old boys down there that have formed up. And they're not militia or anything like that. They're just a group of neighbors that are aware, and people need to do it all over the country. Get ready. Be ready. Be prepared. Food, water, ammo. Prayer being number 1.
Well, that's why they're trying to limit it, everything. I don't know if you heard it earlier. I was talking about they're trying to federally ban body armor because they don't want people to be able to protect themselves on any level, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I have never seen, except for maybe me and Bobby talked about, there was that one case down in Florida where there's 2 men who robbed the bank, and they had homemade body armor. But now they're trying to limit people to be able to buy body armor. I can understand wanting to limit certain types of weapons, which is still, they still obviously overstep the boundaries with that. But long story short is that they're trying to make it so that we can't even protect ourselves without a firearm, and that is insane. That is absolutely unacceptable.
you got to look at an unconstitutional law as no law at all. Look what it says in the Constitution. We're to be equally as armed as the military, the militia. I'm not talking about the National Guard. You know, everybody
absolutely right.
Well, they're different. They're under the governor. They're not under the president. Everybody's F1. Last time I was in, well, I got out in '87 last time, and when I went in is when I figured out in '85. I found out that every unit, every military branch, reserve, whatever, they're all F1. That's Federal One. They're under the president's command. And, you know, commander-in-chief is not the commander-in-chief unless there's a declared war by Congress.
You're absolutely right.
So
I got my 15-year-old godson just texted me. He really stays glued. I keep him informed. And for you listeners, you need to have your kids become involved in the absolute truth. Don't keep them from it. But I've got him texting me right now, and he's a little bit distraught. He says, oh, geez, Hillary Clinton is in favor for immigration thing that Obama just ordered. And then he says Obama signed the executive order suspending the deportation of illegals, and he's got a sad face and you know, with X's on his eyes. He's texting me right now. See, he's unnerved by what's going on because I teach him the truth. Now, you want me to tell you something that's beautiful? This young man is half black, well, actually 3/4. It's my god baby. You know, he didn't get on that bandwagon because I took the time to teach him better. We don't see color and division in our family. We see people.
Absolutely.
That's how you start right there, folks. Start in your own home.
I don't understand what the hell we all have to divide ourselves for, African American, Asian American. We're all Americans. If you're not from Africa, if you're not from Asia, you're an American. And even if you have immigrated here, if you have the American ideal, then you're an American. But the whole thing is that there's a lot of people in this country who want to benefit off of our hard work, off of the citizens' hard work. And that's the whole thing. Not everybody thinks this is, oh, well, we don't want people coming into our country. No, we want people coming into our country the right way. It's a big slap in the face to this, with this whole amnesty thing, to the people who worked their butts off to get here and came in here in the proper way, and then all they would have had to do is come here and hide out for 6 years. That's I'd be mad as hell if I was studying for my driver's exam at 16 years old to get my driver's license, and then it turns out that the governor of the state decides, hey, you know, anybody who's lived in New York State for 6 years or more gets their license automatically. Meanwhile, I had to go through all that. It's essentially the same thing, and that's, you know, and people don't realize how hard it is to go through your citizenship test in the first place. They expect them to know things that most American students don't even know, and you tell me that that's just thrown out the window? That's asinine.
You know what? Give me let me get a chance to get in here. Let me give out the phone number. There's a lot of people asking for the number. It's like posted all over the place right now. 929-477-3565. That's 929-477-3565. I want to thank everybody that is posting this everywhere. I cannot believe how many reposts and new posts and so on and so forth that all of you are doing. We appreciate it. We've been lucky enough to talk to Manny Vega again today, who has been standing in Washington, freezing his ass off to fight for this country, to fight for this Constitution, and completely fight against this amendment. I mean, not amendment, amnesty. Wow, I'm sorry, amnesty. And, you know, he's out there fighting the good fight. Now, we're just waiting on Blaine Cooper, who didn't happen to be with Manny at the time. We're waiting on Blaine Cooper to call us in and give us a little update of everything that's going on. So I know a lot of you are waiting to hear from Blaine Cooper. As soon as we see him on the phone line, we will put him right in. We will put everybody else's calls off to the side, and we will bring Blaine Cooper in right away. So I know a lot of you are waiting and sending me messages asking, has Blaine already been on? No, Blaine has not been on yet. Manny Vega was on, but Blaine Cooper went for a walk somewhere and was heading on his way back. So please hold tight. Okay, back to you guys.
Hey, Listen, I want to bring something up to the listeners again. I can't express the urgency in you having this knowledge. I need you to ponder this. Our government has set them up, the Muslims, the terrorists. They've opened the border. We already have confirmation from active duty Border Patrol who were in my military council, who still stand in very close communication with me, telling us for sure that ISIS has come through that border. The Arizona local news channel 4 years ago announced that Hamas and Al-Qaeda were found in the state of Arizona that had come across through that border. Keep this in mind. When I tell you Obama is one of them, you know I'm telling you the truth. When I tell you DHS appointees were all tied to terrorist organizations in Hamas and Al-Qaeda, you know this to be a fact. The fact that Carr has been tied to the same terrorist group across the globe and has a foothold in headquarters in Washington, D.C., and is assisting our Department of Justice, or let me rephrase that, Department of Injustice. The fact that their foot is in the door and has been since the beginning of this Michael Brown situation, this little thug that lost his life, let me tell you something. We know that there are terrorist training camps here that our government has allowed. We know that they've given full reign to the Muslims in this country. And we know the horrific wars over the centuries and genocide that they feel they have the right to do because they're a demonic cult. They're not a religion. They're a cult that operate under the guises of religion in order to have a legal foothold in nations. Now listen, these Muslims that are in with these protesters, many of them are going to be homegrown and they look just like Americans. They're not all going to be Middle Eastern. They're going to be from all over the world. They're going to be from Africa, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia. They're going to be from Zimbabwe. They're going to look like they're from America, and you wouldn't know any different until they open their mouths. But the fact is, in these training camps that our government has funded, in these training camps that they have provided weapons and ammunition and hours and hours and hours and weeks and months and years of training, these are war machines, and they're in the midst of these rioters. And when they come at you, you're not even going to see it coming because you're not expecting it. You're expecting the thugs to start throwing fists and pull out a 40. So I want you to be on alert. I want you to understand that we're in a very dangerous situation. I want you to also understand this is a declaration of war on the American people by this government. So I'm not trying to incite fear. I'm trying to prepare you for what I believe we are about to face based on all of my research and information. Anybody have any thoughts on that? We've got a couple of callers. Let me bring in area code 714. Who's on the line? 714. Area code 714.
Hi,
hey,
Bill DiGirolamo.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Just gonna catch up and see where everybody's at before jumping in.
We're trying to get people motivated to stand up for their country and get off, the couch and from behind the keyboard and off their cell phones.
Oh, you mean like we've been doing for the last several years, huh?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, brother.
Yeah.
And kind of giving everybody an update on the dangers that we're facing with this verdict that's coming out and the orchestration, with the amnesty and the government busting in Mexicans to, support and oppose patriotic opposition in front of the White House and in Vegas. And, the list is just too long to even go over again. But, yeah.
And maybe get some support for the patriots out in Washington that are there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of posturing to distract us from the point of fact that you've stated and everything that we're up against, and that's the preparedness stuff. It's past time for us to start uniting a little bit with other groups and stop squabbling about like who wants to take command or who's in the lead, but by the example of what kind of good information and organizational cooperation they can create between everybody. and let leadership take its position from there.
I agree.
I think that we're at a point also where the separation between the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, the United Patriots, we have to break that wall down a little bit, and perhaps try to cooperate a little bit more with the community preparedness teams, because we absolutely do face numerous distractions and real dangers, crises that can force a police action against us. And we need to be a little bit more prepared for that, because this police action will concentrate efforts wherever we resist the most. And Becky, you and I have talked about this a bit, but I'm pretty certain that in those particular areas, they would not hesitate to unload some of their viral weapons that they're so proud of owning.
Yeah.
It'll look like tear gas. Who knows how they'll release it? There's so many ways that can actually occur. And if it's too much of a fight with the guns, they can just back off and let people get sick and come in and do what they want from that point forward. We need to start being more cautious.
We need to make sure that we've got our immune systems where they need to be, brother. And I know that you can help the listeners out there. So I know this is unsolicited. I apologize to you, but could you please share something that you know about what we can do to better prepare our body for something in that situation?
Yeah, I wasn't actually going to even share at all about my product, because I didn't want to diminish from the importance of the state of our union. But
I mean, I understand, but since you went there, help our brothers and sisters out, because I like you, believe that's going to be a part of this battle.
All right, well, I'll just give a brief on how it started so that it's understood why I did it. Back in the mid-late 90s,
Yeah, hold on, Bill. Hold on.
I'm sorry. 1 second. From a 412 area code they're calling from.
Got it on my board, but I've got 541, area code 541. Who have I got?
No, it's a 412 number. And the last 4 is 8748. Actually, hang on.
Well,
he's typing and telling me. Hang on. I'm waiting for him to respond. Hang on. The call in part 2 called is not available. Hang on. What the hell? They're telling him that the number he called is not. I called, and the part 2 called is not available. What?
Tell him to try again, because I just dropped 2 more.
Yeah, I am. He's calling from a 412 area code. You know what? I could call with the number that he's calling from, I guess.
Oh, well, you can't go there.
All right, 541, area code 541.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mess up what he was, what you guys were talking about.
Bill, can you hold on for a moment? 541, who have I got?
You haven't been in there for hours.
I'm sorry, who is it?
I'm calling from area code 541, but I was just calling in to listen, and I didn't want to interrupt your content, what he was saying there. Yeah, I'll hold.
All right. I'm going to put you on hold.
Okay.
Area code 307. Area code 307. Who have I got? Area code 307. They hung up. Area code 412. Area code 412. Is this you, Blaine?
Yeah, this is Blaine Cooper.
Oh, God bless you, brother, man. Thank you for calling in. Bobby, I'm doing good. This is Becky. Listen, man, I want to thank you for all you do. God bless you, brother.
0.
Yeah, hi, Blaine.
Sorry, guys, I couldn't hear you there.
All right, I've got Bobby on the line. Bobby. Hello, Bobby. until he comes back on, brother, I just want to take a minute to say thank you for all the hard work that you do and the way you hop around the country to
Definitely.
be a standing front man in leadership for this country and the Patriots. God bless you, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. God bless you guys. I appreciate you guys, all you guys' support out there. We're holding our ground here. We're going to be here, I guess until we get sick of being here. We're not going to leave. And I'm probably going to miss Thanksgiving with my family, but that's the Declaration of Independence says, "We gladly pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." And you can't affect change without a little bit of sacrifice. And I'm willing to give every last dime I have, every last bit of honor and sacrifice to get something going in this country, to get God back in the White House, and to get our government back for the people and not for themselves. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Thank you for that too, Blaine.
Bobby, are you
I'm
on
glad
line?
that you. Yeah, I am. Thanks for calling in, brother. I appreciate it so much. I mean, I'm glad that you were able to take time out of your busyness that you got going on there, and we really, really appreciate everything that you're doing for us. I mean, and everything that you do on a constant. I mean, it's a daily occurrence that you go out, put a bullseye on your back, and share with the with the American public, what we need to know.
Yeah, that's right. It's funny because we got a real problem with mainstream media and not wanting to report the truth and the facts, and the American people don't know where to put their trust anymore because they don't want to trust anybody. How can they trust anybody? Because everybody they try and trust stabs them in the back, especially the citizens of this country. And when I saw Obama putting this amnesty through, after I've been to the border myself, I've been seeing the horrors and what's going on down there. And for him to do this, it's a slap in the face for the legal immigrants who have worked so hard to come to this country, and now we're just gonna walk all over them. And Obama didn't do this because he cares about Hispanics or he cares about those poor children that came in. Obama's using them as a political stunt, and it's sick. He's a sick man. How in the world are you going to use kids so you can get your ratings? That's why Obama did it. That's the only reason he did it. His approval ratings are going down the tubes. He knows the American people are fed up with him. So what's he do? I'll just grant amnesty to millions of illegal aliens.
He's going to finish his UN mission to subject America into becoming a northern global territory, a North American global territory.
North American Union, brother.
So, that'll just be a global territory under whoever the United Nations represents.
Right. It's funny you said that. I don't know if you guys, and to your listeners out there and everybody who's listening, go to YouTube and the search bar, put in North American Union and watch that video. That video explains everything that is happening right now, and they're doing a damn good job of it. But one thing they're not counting on is the American people to say, we have had enough. This, I think, is going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. I think people are so sick of getting walked on, they're just not going to put up with it anymore.
Well, yeah, that's the case. And they want our guns bad.
Yep.
And they want our guns bad. And
trust me, brother, I know.
That's kind of where I was leading when they started bringing in some other callers, how they can get our guns. And
trust me, brother, I know about that. I've been here in New York, and we got the New York SAFE Act, which is the most unconstitutional thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, maybe California, probably.
But you know what bugs me about the whole gun movement too? I hear this term in the media a lot. Everybody says law-abiding citizen, law-abiding citizen. Well, why do we keep using this term? Because in Connecticut, the law-abiding citizens, 350,000 of them became a felon overnight because of one law saying they couldn't have a certain amount of rounds in the magazine for their weapon.
Absolutely.
This is the kind of ludicrousy. It's like they're trying to make every person in this country a felon. So they won't. It's like they're not going to take armies and march into your house and take them, but they'll make little advert laws more and more and more. Because what are we going to do? We're law-abiding citizens, right? So we're going to abide by the law. So the only people in the end who are going to have guns are the damn criminals and the criminals in Washington, and they will kill everybody who does not go along with them.
Well, it's important to always recognize, too, those laws are actually statutes, and those are under their corporation pretending to be the government, and not under the actual constitutional founded law, and the House that's actually our government, which is basically kind of dormant. It still exists, but it's not being housed right now. It's what's pretending to be our government is housed by a corporation, and they act more under the Admiralty and the maritime law and the international law of the body that they're trying to turn us over to. Now, they have all these distractions, and they want to go ahead and unleash on us. And
right. Did you notice this? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did you notice that this amnesty thing came right through when the Ferguson thing's about ready to pop off?
Of course I did. I've been talking
it's
about
so
it for
funny. The government is so predictable. They would be great poker players. The people in government would be great poker players because they're always using the sleight of hand tactic. Get everybody to look left and we'll move right. And people fall for it every time.
I said that on yesterday's show. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead.
I was just agreeing with him. I said on yesterday's show that when a magician says, look in his right hand, pay attention to his left, because that's where the magic's happening.
Well, of course. And the other thing that we have to really pay a lot of attention to is what not to react to as much as what we actually have to react to. We have to react to the fact that they want to completely shut us down. They've already shut us down enough to that it cannot be tolerated and that we have to stand up. Okay, that's a given. But for us to react to certain circumstances and situations instead of prepared to basically stop an entire overtaking and to be in position to take ourselves back, we have to be really careful about that.
Right, we do. It's funny you say that. That the most powerful weapon we have in this fight is our freedom of speech, and our other powerful weapon we have is our camera. And we need to start getting off our computers, showing up to these events, and standing together as one, as a group of people, as Americans. Because if we don't stand together, if we don't unite, then we cannot affect change. A handful of people will not change it. And people are weak-hearted. Their morale is low. I know how they feel. They're like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. No, the only reason you can't do anything about it is because you're not doing anything about it. The power is within each and every one of us, and putting God first in this country, and we can have a movement across this country that in the likes of that God hasn't seen in a long time, and He will use us, but we have to have faith, and we have to go, and we have to make our voices heard.
Well, this is another reason why we have to ensure that everybody who's capable of becoming armed is always armed, which is important for the community preparedness teams, because if actions are taken against individuals or groups or areas, there has to be enough people that can stand up and say, no, sorry, or arrest the officers or agents trying to impose any of this. And at least bring in a sheriff, and if that's not available, well, then simply hold ground until we can have something more official. But this organization between communities needs to start occurring, because I don't think they intend to listen to reason. They're not going to negotiate. I've always said for the last several years now, and there's a lot of very valid and honorable methods for our remedy, but none of them are going to be what affects it, because I've always believed, and they're showing this, that any method that goes far enough to put them on the spot will be the tipping point that they say, you know what, we're not going to pretend anymore. We never really gave a shit about any of this, and we're not part of what you guys are asking us to be and to do. We're just going to take you over.
Right, and that's part of that corporate jurisdiction. They're like the Act of 1871 and the 14th Amendment jurisdiction, where they formed a separate government for the British of Columbia. They operate on a different set of rules over there. And that's why every time we elect somebody, we always get the same crap every time. And every policy, everything that the leaders do, whether it's an executive order or a bill in the White House, it does everything to take freedom from the hands of the people. They wouldn't do it if they couldn't get control on it and they couldn't make money off it. At the end of the day, they're just another scumbag in the suit. We need a real leader. We don't need a politician anymore. We need a leader who's going to take over. We need a leader who's going to hold them accountable and bring justice back to this country and give freedom back to the people where it belongs.
Well, we have to get those people. First off, we can't put anyone else into that house. We have to get the few who may be worthy of serving us to exit that house and re-inhabit the actual government rather than this corporate structure that's pretending to be our government. And it has to happen. And, otherwise remove them all. We can't be putting people into that remote-controlled vehicle that's otherwise, because somebody can't step into a driver's seat of a remote-controlled vehicle and steer it where we want it to go. It's just not going to happen. Now,
right.
But I truly think...
I'm sorry. I talked to a libertarian. Hey, how's it going? I talked to a libertarian last night, and we were confronting people and debating them on the issue. And I said, a lot of these people believe that letting all these people in is not a big deal. And I said, don't look at it that way. And I said, let me ask you something, okay? Think about all the people that came here legally, okay, and including people who are natural-born citizens of this country. And so we're going to let 35 million people in because they say it's 5. It could be like 5 million kids, but plus their parents, plus all. And some of those families are like 6 to 11 people. You're talking a tidal wave of illegal aliens who are going to be granted amnesty at the expense of the taxpayer. Now, they may get jobs. Some of them may get good people. And I'm fine with good people coming here the legal way and working. We need that. That's what makes America great. But to let them in this way, and we can't even afford to take care of the legal citizens that are here. We got homeless people. We got 24 vacant houses per every homeless guy. There's something seriously sick with this country. That's got to happen, and we can't help our poor, we can't help our needy, and we can't take care of the people here. And now we're going to just flood the border in. We might as well just let ISIS take over the White House. There you go. Nobody gives a damn.
Well,
why don't you just rule?
Even this is a distraction, though, that people are fully aware of. I know more of us now at least know it's happening, but this thing is getting a lot of attention, and it should. It's a very wrong thing. It compromises our national security, but what else is also happening? And again, it's UN-related, is that not only from the South America, Central America, and Mexico are they, besides the illegal immigrants, be given the stay, but they've classified a number of them, which don't show up on any of this, as refugees. Now, refugees goes further, because the UN, in agreement with our State Department and our administration, or the administration of the State Department, because they're not ours, they're a corporation, but the agreement is to have a particular number of refugees. Now, these refugees are coming from areas where our sworn enemies reside, and those numbers are massive, and they far exceed what we're in uproar over. And this is happening. And I know that Becky has probably touched on it today. I missed a good portion of this early on. But that these people are going to come in from inside, and they mean to harm us. And they're here.
Yes, they do.
Not just harm our economy, but harm us altogether.
Right.
And given what I expect them to do, that might sound dangerous even to them. But it can be managed if they have a resolution, a means, or a weapon to just diminish them out when they're done using them just as much as they can diminish us. And I really believe that we're not going to see a martial law as much as we're going to see a quarantining, because if the shit hits the fan and they want our guns and they don't want to fight us, they'll make us very, very sick. And we'll either
make us very, very broke.
Well,
have you noticed?
Being broke is okay.
Yeah.
What's that?
I was just going to say, have you noticed all this big government takeover, war on terror, this destroying your constitutional rights stuff had started right when the whole economic thing. It's like, have you noticed this whole thing seems like it's planned? Because when people are afraid, they're easy to control. So they create these crises and put people in fear, and so they say, please, government, help us. Take our freedom, take our rights, secure us. And just like Benjamin Franklin said.
But that's not going to stop us from fighting, though.
Right.
What'll stop us from fighting is no longer being able to hold a gun and laying down. That's going to stop us from fighting.
Bob, Excuse me, Bobby, what did you say?
No, I was just saying, and that's how they march us off to a FEMA camp. But you know what, Bill? I don't want to cut you off, Bill. We got like 15 minutes left, and I have a couple questions for Blaine. I mean, you're more than welcome to sit here with us. I mean, you're just, I love listening to you two talk, but I just got a couple things that I wanted to ask Blaine. Because on his way, going out there and, going to Washington, I wanted to ask how that whole incident went down for you with the TSA and everything. I mean, that had to totally freak you out.
Yeah, it was a little weird. When I walked up to the ticket counter to get the ticket to come to D.C., it took like 45 minutes for them. They couldn't even print out my boarding pass. They said, I don't know, I've never seen this before, something wrong. And so I'm sitting there waiting. People are getting pissed off because they're behind me waiting in line. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. And so she had to call her supervisor, and then had to call his supervisor, and then had to call his supervisor, and then finally she came back out, and they put these 4 S's on there, and I was like, what the hell is this? I went up to the deal. They strip searched me twice. I went once, and then they picked me back up, took me back over there, and did it again. No, I had my clothes on, but they made me take everything off. But my shirt and my pants. But I had to take my socks, and they patted me down, and all kinds of stuff. It was really weird. Then 15 of those TSA guys followed me until I got on the plane.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell was that all about?
They didn't even treat Buddha Bear that bad.
Hang on.
Did they?
However, after when I was in there getting patted down and all this was happening, 5 people in burqas passed by with no problems. So I think it is funny where the double standard lays in this country that they consider American people such as myself who believe in the Constitution, believe in freedom, believe in liberty for the people, are considered more a threat than people who we know want to commit harm to us.
I don't even think they treated Buddha Bear and Mr. Bundy that bad last week, did they?
Yes, Ammon Bundy and the same problem.
But I mean, Buddha said that he had the 4 S's also. I knew that was going to happen, though, with him being with Mr. Bundy, guaranteed.
Yep.
Unreal. Have you heard? I heard that the sheriffs are coming out to support you guys. Does that have anything to do with Sheriff Mack? Has anybody been in touch with him, and that's maybe why they're coming out, or?
I can't speculate on that. I have heard things here and there. I don't know that personally. Now, Manny knows a little bit about that, I think. There is supposed to be some sheriffs coming out, but Michelle Bachmann, she's calling for a rally on December 3rd, too. I mean, this isn't just us. I mean, this is everyone in America is finally, I think, it's just had it so far up to here with the government. They're like, you know what, we're done. Somebody has got to take these guys and put them in a court of law, arrest them, and hold them accountable. We have to make examples that this is not okay to do to your people. And if somebody does not do that, we're going to be in absolute slavery here.
Yes, absolutely. The Constitutional Sheriffs and Police Officers Association already had it scheduled appearance there, but they're aware of you guys out there, Blaine. And they'll probably speak up for you as well.
Awesome. And see, that's what we need. It shouldn't be me. I'm just some nobody from Humboldt, Arizona. There's so many people who are so much better qualified to get out there and be a voice and can be a leader and can stand up and say enough. They have the authority. They have the credentials. Where are these men at? They need to stand up. It's not, you know what I mean? Well, but you know what? It's funny because of how I got involved in all this. I used to think, why me, God? Why me? Well, I remember somebody said to me one time, says, God does not call the qualified. God will qualify the called. You can't fill a cup that's already full.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anybody that...
Bobby?
Hello?
We dropped him again. The government's really messing with my board today.
Yeah, they love a lot of us.
Yeah, anybody that wants to call in has any questions for Mr. Cooper, Blaine Cooper, super patriotic, my hero, Blaine, who is standing up for you in Washington. Please give us a call at 929-477-3565. Again, 929-477-3565. any questions for Blaine? We'd love to hear from you. Blaine, we do actually have a caller on hold. Let me find out who this person is. Area code 860. Who have I got? You're on live.
Hi, how's it going tonight, Becky? This is Ben.
Hey, Ben, how you doing, brother?
Oh, this is so good, so good. Good to talk to you, Blaine. How's it going down there, Blaine?
It's cold, man. I thought my lungs were going to freeze last night. It actually, when I was walking, I almost threw up because it was so cold. It was freezing my throat and it was making it scratchy. I'm like, good God, it's cold here. And like I said, we stay out there as long as we can. We're not allowed to. We were just going to camp out right in front of the White House, but they said if they see our sleeping bags, they're just going to kick us out. So we stay as long as we can, and we try to confront as many people as we can. And people can do this at their state capital if they can't make it here. Maybe they can get a vet and give him a bus ticket who's homeless. Get him out here. He can come stand with us. It doesn't matter who you are. We need to unite together of all races who are legal citizens here and tell the government, we're done. Enough. Leave us alone.
Hey Blaine, is Raza there making their presence known by their name?
Is who?
Raza.
La Raza.
Yes. Yeah, La Raza, yes. They were there. We did confront them. But obviously we are severely outnumbered there. There was only like 14 or 15 of us. But God doesn't need big numbers. God just needs a few faithful people.
But was there a difference between how you were treated as compared to how they were treated?
Yes. I didn't see Secret Service going around profiling or searching them. They were more worried about us. And, that can only be coming from one person in there who's concerned about it.
Wow.
Well, and the fact that who they consider their allies.
Yeah, that's
right. See, a lot of people always misrepresent us. Like anytime you bring up the term militia or people who are going down to the border trying to defend their country, they think that we're a bunch of these nut jobs from down south who wanted to shoot a bunch of people. That is not who we are. We are peaceful people who defend, who take a defensive position. We never do offensively attack innocent people. That's not how we work. And we would not do that to them. But they treat us like we're the common criminal, like we're there to do. And we don't wish harm on the president. We don't wish harm on Obama. But we do, however, want him arrested and tried in a court of law for treason and for many other crimes, high crimes that he's done against this country. And I don't just feel that way about him. I've been feeling this way about a lot of presidents for a long time because what they are doing is against our law. The rule of law. You remember when President Bush did that real spooky speech? The rule of law. The rule of law, people always misrepresent that. The rule of law was the Constitution, was supposed to limit the government's power on the people, not to be used as a dictatorship or dictatorial or oligarchy type of system to oppress the people. They got it mixed up, and people do not understand the term anymore.
Well, this corporation, pretending to be our government, does look at you and we as the enemy because we are the ones that can keep them from fundamentally changing America into no longer being America at all.
Right. See, people don't realize that the only way, the thing that makes America is the people's belief in the Constitution. If people people don't mind standing up for their hero football player or basketball player, baseball player, but why their Constitution is being shredded and they're being enslaved, they don't care about that too much, do they? That's where the priority in this country needs to be. Stop watching your reality TV shows. Get off your butt. Have a voice and make a difference. Inspire somebody. You can do it too.
Well,
we better do it soon.
I will tell you this. The rule of law that they like to throw around is it's known as democracy, okay? It's a legal principle in which a law should govern a nation by, okay? And, it's opposed to arbitrary decisions.
Just the right amount of government.
By an individual or a government official, which is what Obama is doing.
What we have in America today is an oligarchy. Technically, dictatorships never exist because it's always ruled by an elite few who prop up one, or a puppet, as you were, or a front, and the elite group of people rule while this guy just speaks to the people. But at the same time, he's still the president and the leader, and we put him in charge, and people gave him his power, so he needs to represent the people. And if something dirty is going beyond, he needs to speak up. And he did.
Right.
Go along with it. And that tells me he don't give a damn about us.
I'm calling in from.
But I was going to say that America was supposed to be a constitutional republic.
Yep.
Right. Well, I'm calling in from Western Massachusetts over here, where we are losing the war on drugs badly. There's a bunch of nice little college towns, little picturesque New England towns. The streets are being flooded with dope. I got one friend in the hospital with a punctured lung. He got stabbed by a doper last night. The doper nodded off in the back of the police cruiser. Stopped by the corner store. My friend behind the counter, his little sister last night. They administered the drug to bring her to revive her, when she turned blue. But about 95% white population up in the area, and it's flooding with dope. Homeland Security has pounds away in
that's loud, whoever that is.
Yeah. This is there's a bunch of college towns around here. UMass Amherst, Homeland Security has a presence there, and they got a drone base out of Westfield, but they can't seem to do anything about the dope.
They don't want to. They don't want to. See, people have a hard time with this because with dangerous drugs comes a lot of violence. But what people don't realize, the violence comes because of the prohibition. Like in the 1930s when we had prohibition of alcohol, it actually created a market for the most notorious gangster in American history, or one of them, Al Capone. When we create prohibition, we create a market or a black market for the criminal to thrive. That's why we have such a problem with drug cartel. And then with that also becomes government corruption because there's a lot of payoffs and money in it. So you have like back in the 80s, you had the DEA and the CIA who are the biggest drug smugglers in the world, but people don't know this. People,
Pat Plumley tell you that.
Yes, at the end of the day, the only reason they wanted a war on drugs is to grab people's freedoms and to get money. That's it. Because let me tell you something, you don't see people shooting each other or having wars or beating each other up over alcohol. Well, unless they're drunk in their own home, that does happen, or at the bar. But the point is, by regulating it like that and doing that, we are making the criminals more powerful than our own government.
We've got state troopers all over the roads. They'll pull you over for failure to signal, or not having a seatbelt. Okay, but they can't stop dope. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. It's you got to really think about what the deeper agenda is when they want to regulate something. You could do it like what Portugal did. And see, this is funny because it's not a popular idea because we're taught in school that drugs are bad and blah 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 and they should be illegal. Which I agree.
It's a smart idea.
I agree, but the problem is, when you try to regulate that, you're going to create the black market, and then you have corruption and all kinds of other different problems. I mean, look at Fast and Furious. They want to take guns away from people, but they give them to the drug cartels. But we got a real problem here. But in Portugal, they legalized all the drugs there, and they reclassified drugs as a disease, and they started helping people get off this disease instead of just throwing them in a jail cell and extorting their families for money. And what happened was, in 10 years, the drug use for teens and adults went down 62%. They're almost drug-free over there. It's amazing. It's so weird because it seems everything the government does is exactly opposite of what they should be doing. And it creates a mess and chaos.
And the pharmaceutical corporations that provide the drugs to get a lot of these people off of the drugs that they're on otherwise are more addictive than the ones that they take them away with.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
A lot of money all the way around.
And I know a little bit about that area.
Well, you know what? Our phone lines are completely lit up. People wanting to call and talk to Blaine, and I know he can't take a million calls and everything. We would really love to be able to get, all your calls and everything, but we must apologize. We know Blaine's not going to sit here and try to go through every call because I'm getting messages like crazy. Oh, can I talk to Blaine? Can I talk to Blaine?
Yeah. I got to get back out here to the White House and do our job and speak out. So I would love to hang around as long as I could, but I got a job to do here, and I hope more people will show up because we can use them. And like I said, we're going to be here as long as we can. We're not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
And,
well, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for what you're doing, brother. We want to thank you for spending time with us and sharing information. Is there any kind of information you want to give out? Do you have a GoFundMe page? Do you have anything you want to share with everybody listening?
Yeah. If you want to donate, I do have a GoFundMe. It's not mine. It's with a group that we're with the Liberty Bells of America. And so you can donate to that if you want to do the GoFundMe way. But if you want to donate to me, which would be used for the same cause for all of us that are down here, food, gas, whatever we need down here to keep getting back and forth to the White House. And like I came out here, I don't even know where my clothes are. I don't find my suitcase.
Wow.
So we just dropped everything and came out here. But I have a PayPal, and you just use my email address and your PayPal account, and it's Blaine Cooper 53@yahoo.com.
Okay, very good. All righty, everybody. So, support the cause, please, by all means. Blaine's out there. He took a step away from his beautiful family. He's got kids. He's got a wife. And, he took time away from them to go out here to protect you and stand up for your rights. So please, if you can, $5, $10, whatever you can do, please share and donate. So thank you again, brother. We appreciate it. We're going to keep in touch with you guys, and we really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, Blaine. Have a good night.
You too, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Brother,
bye-bye.
I love you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you when I get there.
Yeah, love you too, hon.
Thank you, Blaine.
Bye.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Ben?
I don't know why. I got booted 3 separate times during the course of the conversation.
I got people getting dropped and keep calling back.
I got booted twice.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Becky's had to bring me in 2-3 times already.
I thought you guys kicked me out. I was like, did I say something wrong?
No, I got booted 2-3 times. You know what, Bill? I'm glad you joined the call. You were hitting them head and head. You guys, you know probably more than he does on a lot of aspects, and I'm really glad that you joined the call with us today.
I'm sorry I had to come so late. I had to take care of things that I was in the middle of.
We're gonna have Bill back on.
No, anytime. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Becky. I'm sorry. Let me mute myself.
Bill's going to join us again. I'm going to extend an invitation to Bill to come on anytime we're on. Bill, I want you to come on because you're a gentleman with a lot of information. You're definitely a patriot. You do your homework, and you have a lot of knowledge to impart to the listeners, and I appreciate your participation today. I want to say I love you and thank you.
Well, I love you too, and thanks for having me. Sorry again that I had to come so late.
Bill, would you go ahead and, brother, I had to cut you off because we were trying desperately to figure out what number Blaine was going to call in on. Could you please, for me and for the listeners, could you please, if you wouldn't mind, plug the product that you have to offer that boosts the immune systems and it's going to help the population?
Well, I started a product called ViraGuard. It's taken from a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Law. It's a BFI humic acid, and it was originally intended to be FDA approved as a drug, but we experienced them basically shutting us down. Even though we passed all the tests, they kept forcing us to retest at our expense until they broke us financially with the suggestion that we could sell ourselves to a large pharmaceutical corporation, and of course the product could then go to the market, except that coincidentally 2 of the big guys did come forward and offer to buy for pretty tremendous sums of money, but they couldn't agree to the clause that obligated them to put it to market, so they wanted to buy it and hide it. So several years had gone by, and here we are today, where it's actually a blessing that it wasn't allowed to become an FDA-approved pharmaceutical drug. because then I couldn't make it available. But it blocks viruses, and Ebola is only one of them. The Zentero virus being another, several of them, which are actually harder to stop than some of these very dangerous pandemics. But it'll either stop them if you're already infected, or it'll block them from being able to infect you in the first place. And at great risk to myself, I'm here right now saying this on open air, and I've been posting about it openly on what it does. Of course, they don't want that, and they don't want me doing that, and they don't want it available, but I'm pretty certain that the game plan includes infecting us and making us sick enough to succumb. And everything that we're seeing can then be perfected, including getting our guns and everything. So that's why I've got it. There's a lot of other benefits to it that if people are like, well, you know, they don't want to buy into the viral part, the anti-inflammatory portions of it exceed anything that you can get by prescription. And the benefits of it are pretty tremendous. So guys like me that have combat sports and motorcycle injury accidents and arthritis pain, you'll see those benefits almost immediately. But I did it for the Patriots because I knew that ViruGuard needed to be there so that we can protect ourselves from becoming infected, not have to hide. Because if the shit comes down and they want to marshal us or quarantine us, it's the Patriots that have to stand up and stop this. Something that the Oath Keepers were finally stating out in the open, which they resisted doing for the last few years. I've been inside there trying to get them to come forward about our defense and being more militia-oriented and patriot-minded. And, you know, they resisted that for the last several years with me. They even kicked me out and let me come back in later because of it. Well, here we are today with things that I've been posting and predicting actually occurring, and here they're doing these things. But if we can't stand and fight and deny the infection that forces us to collapse, then we're going to lose this whole place. We will, and that's why I started ViruGuard. Right. And it's
You're absolutely right. I tell people all the time. When it comes to the pharmaceutical companies that if they were out to cure disease, they'd be out of a job.
Oh, absolutely. It's worse than that. They create other diseases and other bodily breakdowns where they have other prescriptions in line to mask that damage, and they leave deposits throughout your whole system, which, by the way, ViruGuard also helps some with because it chelates as it exits. It takes heavy metal deposits and other toxins out of the system when it leaves your system. It passes pretty quickly, and it leaves trace minerals behind and all kinds of other elements. But those aggressive humic acid molecules are electrically charged. The same principle with electronegative and electropositive reactions chemically that hold the DNA together. That's how these VFI humic acid molecules will go for viruses. And once they bind to that virus, and they're more attracted to the virus than the virus is to our host cells, you can't break it. They can't infect your cells. They die out and they get passed as waste. And it's cheap. Like I said, it's cheap. And I've always intended to use funding from this if I can ever get to the point to where I bring in more than I'm spending to do this to help with our Patriot movement. And originally it was set up for like the Camp Lone Star and Laredo areas of citizen volunteer border security and such, but there's so many other areas that it actually is needed also, and I'm open to anything to help. So that's the mission. I staked everything I have on it, all my security, my savings. I had to get rid of the car because I needed more money, and basically took my exit from California, planned to go to Arizona and set up in a Patriot-safe place, and I had to give that away to do this. But I think that, like Blaine was talking earlier about a calling from God, that I kind of had to make that sacrifice, and it was the right thing to do, my personal safety aside. And so that's what I did with ViruGuard. And it can be bought through PayPal with my email address. You can email me directly and buy it. You can call me on the phone and buy it. And if I can't take all the phone calls at some point, then I'll give other people an opportunity to work and have them help take those calls. Whatever has to be done for this to work is what I'm here for.
Well, I appreciate it, Brother Ben. Do you have anything else to add to this? And then we're going to wrap up the show.
You want me to post
Ben,
my phone number?
Sure.
Becky,
you're welcome to. Yeah.
It's 714-318-8587. Becky, you can post my email address or whatever you'd like as well.
That'd be great, brother. I'll sure do that. And listen, I want to thank you again for calling in. Ben, are you still on the line? I guess we dropped him. 860 area code. Who's on the line? Okay. With that said, I'm going to wrap up the show. I want to thank everybody who joined us today, listened in. Keep us posted. I'll pull an emergency show if we need to. Keep me posted about your cities and your areas and any activity concerning riots or martial law. We have another show coming up on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week, and an impossible show on Monday with Z-Man. Until then, God bless and good night.
Good night. Thank you.
You're listening to the Rage Against the Regime podcast. Don't be a stranger. Like Rage Against the Regime podcast on Facebook or tweet us at RATR Podcast.